Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Heisman with GI Jobs Magazine, and today I have a special guest coming from us from Omaha, Nebraska, one of our favorite places, too. Well, hi, Riley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is Riley Snoderly, and he is with Werner Enterprises located in Omaha, Nebraska. How's Nebraska these days?
Nebraska's doing pretty good. It's been a little bit crazy with the weather, off and on, but we're getting through.
Absolutely. Well, I love Nebraska. So it looks like you have been employed there for since what, 2020, is that right?
That's correct.
Were you employed during the pandemic or just before the pandemic started?
It's like about the middle of it, I'd say.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually great to hear that you were able to get employment during the pandemic. I think that's unique, and I think it's very, very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about your military service because that's why you're here. Tell us a little bit about what branch were you in, what did you do, and when did you transition out?
I was in the Navy. I was an aviation jet engine mechanic.
Okay.
Worked on the EA-6B Prowler. I was stationed in Whidbey Island, Washington, and I separated 2007, April of 2007.
April 2007. Look at you.
Mhm.
You have stuff on your hands. You just got off of an
Yeah,
engine, didn't you?
sorry. Yeah, I was very busy today. I actually looked at the clock and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I got to be over there at
Oh,
1:30. And so
I I love this. This is like the perfect interview then. This is even better. I love it. So you actually work, tell me what you do now, now that you're out and you're working in civilian force.
so I'm a diesel mechanic for Werner Enterprises. I work over in the tractor shop, and we service, maintain, and repair any of the diesel tractors that pull the trailers that you see going down the road.
Okay,
Uh,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it can be anywhere from anything to an oil change, brakes, wheel seals, to major things like engine components. And we don't necessarily rebuild them because most of the time they're under warranty, but we will diagnose and repair anything that is easy to fix for us or not major overhaul.
Sure. So when you got out, were you what, an E3? Is that right? E3, E4? What were you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
When you got out of the Navy, what were you? You were in E3, E4? What was it?
Yes, I was an E3.
E3. Got it. Okay. So tell me why you picked this industry out of all the places you could have worked. Tell me why you picked this.
So I felt that being a diesel mechanic would be a very simple transition for me, considering I was already an aviation mechanic. Mechanics was very, very easy for me. I grew up with my dad learning to do mechanics, and it was something that I felt. There we go. It was something that I felt would be very easy for me and something that I could do simply. I did it in high school. My dad taught me how to be a mechanic, and also I really felt that that was what I wanted to do. I was very interested in diesel technology. So
I love that. And the reason why I think that is something that's has a wide variety to it as well. It's not just one industry. You can do multiple things if you're a diesel mechanic. You can work on multiple different infrastructures that are out there for vehicles, from airplanes to cars to anything else. So tell me, how did you get the job that you had now? Was it something, did you apply for it? Did you have other opportunities, or did you just find this one job and jump right in?
So this actually was very fortuitous for me. I had just ended a job as a EMT. I was kind of doing that part-time at a large construction complex out here in Iowa, and that ended. And my daughter she'd just been born, and I had applied for this position just before. And literally the day after she was born, Chris called me up and said, "Hey man, how's everything going? How's the baby doing?" He said, "I got some amazing news for you. We want to offer you a position with Warner." And it was just like a present on top of a present, man. It was so cool.
And if I remember right, it was because, I mean, now that you had a daughter being born, your priorities kind of change, and maybe a consistent schedule was more of a priority for you at this time, or is that right? Because
Absolutely.
EMTs have a kind of a crazy schedule, right?
Absolutely. And with this EMT construction job, it was long, long, long hours where I had been put in a role where I was in charge of a whole bunch of, and this was when the pandemic started, and we were having to try to figure out temperature screenings and all kinds of different
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. It was a nightmare. And it was a huge breath of fresh air going to a simple, 7 or 5 day a week job, 8 hours a day and guaranteed paycheck. So
I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's talk about getting out of the service. What was the one thing that you found really hard to do, transferring from military active duty to civilian work? What was the one, like, challenge that you had?
it was finding that camaraderie and finding that structure with friends and and or coworkers. I really liked feeling the camaraderie and the structure and the being able to go to one of my fellow sailors and ask them for something. Hey man, how's this going? What's that going? It's difficult to find that, but I really feel like I picked that up here with Werner. So
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so tell if you are right now speaking to folks just like you, maybe are about ready to get out of the service, and you're wondering what they're going to do in the civilian workforce. What's some piece of advice? What's a piece of advice that you would give them?
I would say keep your options as open. Don't limit yourself to specific things. Don't think that, just because I did this in the military, I can't do this.
Right.
Open yourself up to many opportunities and you'll be really surprised at what you find out that you may love. So.
Absolutely. Well, I love it. Listen, you were a great interview. I love the fact that you just came right off the floor and your hands are still dirty from what you were working on. That just shows a reality check right here, folks. So listen, Riley, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to Werner Enterprises for giving us your time to come talk to us and maybe share a little bit of advice to those who are listening who are nervous about transition, because it's a very scary thing. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I love the fact that I get to talk to successful veterans. So on that note, thank you, Riley, very much. Thank you to Werner, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you.